Good morning. It is now day 3 on my van remodel project. I'll give you a little look at what I'm going to work on today. Got my shelving unit here I need to finish off, so I've got some boards I'm going to use for a face board, and I'll put the shelves in there, screw them down, get those face boards on. Then I need to sand the whole unit, and I'm going to paint it white. I got some white gloss paint. I decided to go with the paint over the stain. I'm just going to use the stain polyurethane for my tabletop surfaces, so this unit will be white, and I will probably paint the rest of the kitchen unit white, that plywood and that. So that is the plan today. We do have some rain in the forecast tomorrow, so we're going to take advantage of this nice sunny day and get some painting done. The shelving unit is pretty much finished. I will be adding the top shelf once it's installed in the van, and of course I have already pulled this in and out of the van as it's assembled, just to make sure that I can actually fit it in there assembled like this. Normally I kind of build inside the van, but I figured since I have enough space to go in and out of the doors right now, I'll just assemble it all out here. So the next step for this is to go over it and sand all the edges, give it a good sanding here, and then I'm going to probably start putting some paint on it. Alright, well I got my shelving unit and my kitchen counter there painted. I used the white gloss paint. I think it turned out pretty good. I might have to do one more coat. I'm going to let that dry. And I wanted to show you guys this over here. This is this polywall stuff. It's like a utility panel. It's kind of like a plastic poly something, and it's thin and flexible. And what I'm going to use a portion of that for is to put on the back of my shelving unit. I'm going to cut the piece of it to fit to the whole back of my shelving unit here, and I'll just tack it in with some little nails across here and the backs of each shelf. That way I'll have something that keeps stuff from coming off the back of the shelves and falling back to an area where it would be really hard to retrieve things. So that's how I'm going to handle having some closure on the back of the shelving unit. It'll be really thin, and I think it should do the job. And the rest of this I'm probably going to use because I removed paneling in the van near the kitchen and shelving unit. I'm going to use this instead of paneling, so that whole passenger side of the van is going to kind of have a white look to it. I think it'll really brighten up the van and make things a little bit kind of happier in there. All right. Alright, so I managed to tack that poly wall stuff on the back of this. So now I'm going to go in and just put a series of tacks along each shelf backing. That way when stuff is inside the shelves here, it can't push through the back there. So there'll be a nice tight seal at the back. You know, if you really pushed hard, you could probably break through it, but that should do the trick. I'll show you what I'm using for these little tacks. They kind of have like a little bit of corrugation on them, so they have some bite to them. But they're so small that I can't hold them with my fingers and hammer them in, so I have to use a pair of needle nose pliers, but that's what I'm using. Alright, I'm going to call this shelving unit completed, It is painted, and I added my backing here to keep stuff from coming out the back. Just use those little tacks all along each row, all the way down. Got the bottom secured. Put a few extras in the bottom because that's where I'm going to have my heavier items. So I'm very, very happy with it. I think the white is going to look really good in the van, kind of brighten things up. So I am going to try to get this in the van this evening because tomorrow it's supposed to rain pretty heavy. So I'd like to have this safe and out of the rain. Okay, so here's a look at my kitchen counter and shelving unit installed in the van. I am very happy with it. Well, it's not installed. I still need to anchor it down. But it's in here. Everything fits as I planned. I'm very happy with the size of it. I really like the white. I think it kind of brightens things up in the van. I like the contrast of the white and the wood grain, the polyurethane there. So I need to start thinking about how I am going to modify my bed. I need to make some slight changes to it, so that's probably the next project, the next big project. Actually, the next project I need to do is start working on my drawers on my kitchen unit. So I'm going to start taking some measurements, see what kind of wood I need, and go from there. All right, well, I'm ready to work on my bottom drawer for my kitchen unit here. This is where my fridge is going to set. It's just going to be a shallow drawer. I'm going to use this board here for the box, the drawer box. And then I've got these slides. These are 16-inch slides. I believe the bottom of the fridge is 13 inches deep. So I just got to get these installed down here, make sure they're nice and level. I've never done drawers before, so I've been watching a lot of videos. Hopefully I've got it figured out. It's the best way to learn how to do it. Let's just do it. Okay, so we're still moving along here on our drawer project. I need to get some supports for the slides for the top drawer. So I cut these pieces out here, got some pocket holes drilled, gonna use wood glue, attach those. Just wanna make sure that they are nice and level. So I measured down from the top 3 inches. Gonna do the exact same on the other side. So that's where I'll attach the slides for the top drawer, and I already have the ones on the bottom for the bottom slide. So I'll get this top done, probably work on the bottom drawer first, then move up to the top. Alright, well, we got those supports in on each side there. So now it's time to start putting together my drawers. I don't have the top drawer cut yet, so I'm going to work on the bottom one, see if I can get that box built. Still have to cut a bottom for it as well and install those drawer slides. There's the slide there. Alright, well, I got my drawer boxed out. I am going to get a bottom cut out for this. Probably just going to use plywood. Alright, well, I've moved in the garage here. We got rain coming, so it's time to get these drawer slides installed. It actually is better working in here because the concrete floor in the garage is much more level than outside here. The concrete slabs outside are all kind of wonky, so that looks good. They're nice and level, and my support beam here is nice and level, so I should be able to just line this up right level with the top of this cross beam, and I should be nice and even. Looks like it. Just got to get some screws in there. Alright, so now I'm attaching the rails to the side of the drawers. What I did is I took a piece of this 1/2-inch plywood and set it on the ground, put the drawer on top to see what kind of height I needed to be able to clear the ground, so when I pull it out it's not too low. If it's too low, I don't want it to scrape on the floor, so I've got it raised up just about a 1/2 inch. I think that's going to work out kind of eyeballed where these were, so I got these raised up about a 1/2 inch below the bottom of the drawer. I think that will work, so I anchored it down here. I'm going to double check my measurement here before I drop another screw in, do the other side, and do a test fit. Well, I made quite a bit of progress on my little kitchen unit today. I'm pretty happy with it. Of course, it's not totally finished yet. I need to put baseboards on each of the drawers to hide all the gaps and the slides there, do the same on the bottom. And I'll probably actually cut a notch in this bottom drawer. I didn't account for the ventilation there. Most of it is exposed, but there's still some vents down below here. So if I cut it about halfway, that'll expose all of them. Do the same on the back, because it sucks air in from the back and blows out the front there. That needs to be able to breathe very freely, otherwise the compressor can overheat. So other than that, it's pretty close to being done. I'll put those baseboards on, give it another coat of paint. It'll be painted white. So let's take a look, see how these slide out. These slides have a little locking position at the first portion of it, so you can kind of give it a little tug and then it opens up. And then this is probably due to my beginner install. For some reason at the halfway point it gets a little tight, so you got to give it a little tug and then it slides totally open. This has a bunch of space in it. I should be able to fit most of my kitchen cooking stuff in here. I'll have my stove up on the countertop. It should work out really good. Super happy. I've never had a drawer or drawers in my van before, so it was worth the time and effort to build them, and overall very happy. So again, these at the last bit, you give it a little push and it kind of locks in place. Same on the bottom, so give that a slide out. Oops. This has to be positioned right in the center so these handles don't hit. So I'm noticing that it does want to slide around a little bit, so I might put some little small L brackets in the front and back and on the sides to keep it from shifting around. That way it'll stay in one position so I don't have to worry about it shifting on me. But anyway, when it's open, I can access my fridge no problem. Close the door, give it a little slide, and it goes right back in. I think that's going to work out really good for me, save a lot of space by not having that exposed. It can stow away under the table there. Again, I'll have my stove top on the top here. My shelving unit will butt up against this side, and then I'll have a little fold-out table on this side. So I'm looking forward to doing the finishing work tomorrow. I got rained out today, but overall it was a very productive day. So I appreciate you guys following along on this build. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Peace. A little bit of a tight spot halfway through, but that's okay.